Welcome back to Bitches Breakdown, episode 29. One more away from the big 3-0. On this episode, we're going to talk Raw, SmackDown, Saturday Night Main Event, tentative matches, Bash at Italy, tentative matches. We're going to talk Ronda and Gina, the MMA fight on Saturday. We're going to talk about Western Conference, Eastern Conference matchups, who I think going to win, who I think is going to be in the finals to win that championship. Then we talk about the MVP for the NBA got crowned the other day, and we're going to talk about the top 10 shooting guards, shooting point guards of all time. So that and much, much more after the break. And I'm Bishop, so let's break it down. This episode is brought to you by W Energy, the clean energy drink mix built for gamers, creators, and grinders like us. No jitters, no crash, no artificial dyes, just smooth, long-lasting focus whenever I'm breaking down WWE storylines, debating NBA, or just recording late at night. It's zero sugars, packed with vitamins and nutrients, and it actually keeps you locked in without the shaky feeling. Head to w.gg and use code Bishop's Breakdown at checkout and save 10%. So level up your energy and let's get back to the breakdown. And thanks for supporting the show. Let's jump right into it. Let's talk Monday Night Raw, May 11th, live on Netflix. So the whole show was built around Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns wanting him to acknowledge him after he took care of business at Backlash, even though Jacob Fatu beat the brakes off him after the match and held the title high in the middle of the ring. But we don't talk about that. He should just say, you need to acknowledge me. And he tells my man Adam Pearce, he was like, bruh, you can't fire him until he acknowledges me. If he doesn't acknowledge me, he out. Whatever. And then Sol Ruka had a good, fantastic match against the great Io Sky. Go out of your way to go see that match. Great showcase for both of them. I'm really digging Sol Ruka. Her finisher is amazing when she can hit it right. But if she can't, it looks wonky. But I'm sure, she'll rise to the occasion because she's a great athlete, obviously. So Sol Ruka, give her Intercontinental or U.S. title or something. See what she does with that. And then, because, it can't be Monday Night Raw without the Vision, Street Profits, Joe Hendry, and Seth Rollins on your TV feuding and beefing and hitting each other and spearing each other and talking crap about each other. But I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up, that Joe Hendry song about Logan Paul. How does it go? Paul, can we fire Logan Paul? Paul. Yeah, that song catchy, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, Joe, I see you, brother. Like you keep doing you, man. You entertaining me, and you one hell of a wrestler. I can't even lie. Former TNA champion, former NXT champion, future world champion. I said it. Yes, I said it. Future world champion. If not, then it's a travesty. But besides the final segment with the bloodline stuff, which Jacob had to beat the brakes off of the whole bloodline by himself. I mean, I know he did it on SmackDown a few weeks ago when he took out all the MFTs. He took them out so bad that two of them got fired. That's how bad Jacob had to beat the brakes off of MFT. He got Tangaloa, the great Tangaloa, and JC Mateo kicked out of the building, out of the company, after Jacob had to beat the brakes off of him. But on Monday Night Raw, he took out the Usos. Jay tried to talk some sense into him. Super kick. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy tried to beat the brakes off of him. Beat the brakes off of Roman. Threw him through a table. And then, you think he's gone, and then he turns around, and the Usos trying to help Roman up, and boom, he takes them all three out. I'm just saying, I'm getting my doubts, man. Maybe the Tribal Chief is gonna lose his title at Clash in Italy against against Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu, I don't see where else it's gonna go. I mean, if he loses again, then what? It'd be like too little, too late if he keeps losing, and then beating him up after the match, and then lose, and then beat him after the match and lose. Sooner or later he's going to beat Roman, and Roman has to be in chase mode. But I think all the rumors say that he's going to keep it to at least SummerSlam and face Obafemi, and that doesn't seem like a terrible idea to me either. But what do you do with Jacob Fatu in the meantime? You can't keep beating him, expecting him to do these things. But besides that, it was a forgettable show. Like, I had to rewatch it again to remember some of the little things that happened, because it was if it wasn't for this podcast, I probably would have tapped out halfway through, turned it off, and watched anything else. So they need to do better. I know they think they got all the Netflix money already, so they don't have to try and entertain me. I know it's a lull period between manias, but you don't have to give people a reason to watch. I mean, you got to give people a reason to pay this money, too, to be there live. If this is the show y'all giving us, why am I spending $200, $300, $400 to be a medium range from the ring, and you give me this, and I want to fall asleep in the crowd? That's why fans be sitting on their hands. They're just sleeping. They're taking naps because you're giving them garbage. Let's move on to SmackDown. I think it was from Knoxville, Tennessee. Maybe. I could have been. See, I forget. But it was a homecoming for Trick Williams. He is, I said it once, I say it again, I'll say it a billion more times. Trick Williams is a megastar, and it showed on SmackDown. It's been showing since he came up to the main roster. It showed in NXT when he broke up with Carmelo Hayes, and it was just him. You saw the rise. Once he got that TNA championship and was going on both shows, yeah, he was hitting on all cylinders, and it just going up and up and up and up. I just don't know who's his next challenger. I mean, he faced The Miz, but where does it really go from here? Open challenges seem so beneath him. He needs him versus Carmelo Hayes. That would be a revisited feud, because they were manager and wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, he was his mouthpiece, and I that's what I want to see. I want to see a trilogy of matches between the three. But the show started, typical heel move. Gunther's like, I'm not signing that contract, and talking out his what. And so Royce Keys was like, if you ain't gonna sign it, I'll go sign it. And he about to sign it, and Gunther was like, no. And then my man Nick Aldis, before we continue more, before I forget, Nick Aldis is rumored to go back into the ring for his last run, or a run, because rumor has it maybe Teddy Long's coming back to be a GM for SmackDown, and Nick Aldis can go be a wrestler again. W for me. That's a win-win for me. But anyways, Nick Aldis comes out and says, well, you don't want to sign it. Cody keeps saying sign it. You like, nah, bruh. So if you want this title match so bad, you're going to have to earn it tonight. In the main event, Royce Keys versus the ring general himself, Gunther, for the number one contendership for Cody Rhodes' WWE Undisputed Championship. Best match of the night, though. Royce lost. But even in loss, he looked great. He was throwing Gunther around. Gunther looked like he was, oh, how am I going to beat this guy? And the only reason he lost is because Solo was trying to help him and slide in a chair to hit him in the back when the ref back was turned. But he's like, I'm a good guy. I don't do that. So he threw the chair at Solo's face. And then he was all cheering, but yeah, I took care of Solo. Turn around and yeah, he got beat up by Gunther and lost 1, 2, 3. But if it was for Solo, so I'm assuming because of all that, I expect the match sooner rather than later against Solo. Royce Keys versus Solo. Since Solo's basically by himself, he got Tama Tonga, which he seems to be checked out of this group and want to leave because Shinsuke is telling them what's up, and then Tala Tonga, and that's it. MFTs is officially really gone unless they add some members. Maybe I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what they can do, but that was SmackDown again. Boring. You have the highs were up here and the lows were real low, and yeah, again, it's a slog to go through. But rumor has it it's going back to 2 hours, so maybe that will make SmackDown more watchable going forward. Anyways, Saturday night's main event is coming up real soon, which I didn't even know was a thing. Again, this soon. I thought it was in a couple months. At the Fanatic Fest is when they're gonna do the Saturday night's main event from Madison Square Garden, but they haven't won next week or this week on the 23rd. So here's the tentative matches so far, because they maybe add a match or two, but I doubt it because they have a PLE literally a week later, the Clash in Italy. So here's the matches so far. You got Division challenging defending their tag team championships against the Street Profits, which I think here's prediction. Let's do predictions already. Street Profits win the tag team championship with the help from Joe Hendry. He's going to distract Logan Paul. Logan Paul is going to either eat the pen or Theory is going to eat the pen, and because Logan Paul's so angry, because Paul. Will you fire Logan Paul? That guy. And he'll get all angry and go after Joe, and Joe will, and then Theory by himself and Street Profits, boom, 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 finisher, bam, bam, 1, 2, 3. I can see that happening. Because then Logan can focus on Joe Hendry and they can have singles matches. And I don't know about Theory. And then you got a big 6-woman tag team match because I can't wait for this. Let's go. We got Rhea, you got Charlotte, the queen herself, you got Alexa Bliss taking on the former women's champion who lost to this Rhea at WrestleMania. You got Jade Cargill and her baddies or whatever they call themselves. You got Michin, Mia Yim for all you original OGs, and then you got B-Fab. Who cares? Either Rhea's team gonna win, or Jay's gonna pin Rhea because some hoopla happens, and she gets a rematch week later at Clash in Italy. There you go. Because Saturday night's main events are never. I mean, usually it's never anything entertaining, or not entertaining, but exciting, or it moves things or progresses storylines. It's just kind of a glorified house show. But I'm thinking with it being so close to Clash and they only have a few matches announced for said Clash, like one. So they have to do a lot of movements to make a 5-card matches. They need 5 matches on the card, at least 4. And they only got 1. And I'm thinking they're going to use Saturday night's main event to progress some storylines so they can have these matches, because they only got 7 days between to have matches announced. And they're going to announce all the matches on Friday, the 2 days before. And because of that, let's move on to what match. Singular match is announced for Clash in Italy on Sunday, May 31st from Italy. First time, PLE, Italy, Santina Morella needs to have a cameo. I said it. He should be in the crowd, and somebody should say open challenge, and he'll come out again. Maybe not win, but it'd be like one of those. Oh, I remember that. I get that reference. So, but one match is Cody Rhodes defending his WWE Undisputed Championship against the ring general Gunther. And that's it. That's all we got right now. And we got a few short days, like 2 weeks. So that's why I'm saying Saturday Night Main Event might be newsworthy. So I'm going to keep an eye on Saturday Night's Main Event and let you know what happens and what I thought and why I thought of it. Maybe I thought it was dumb. Maybe I thought it was cool. Maybe I thought indifferent. But I'll let you know my true, honest thoughts because what else I'm going to do? I'm not going to sugarcoat nothing because I'm telling you how it is, and that's why you tune into this cast, this pod, this thing, this YouTube channel, this Apple Music, Spotify, all that thing. So I'm going to get right to it. But let's move on to the Netflix MMA fight. I'm only going to cover the main event because it was the shortest thing ever. And if it wasn't free, I would have been pissed. So, hey everyone, it's Bishop. I got something special for you today. On the next bonus episode, I'm breaking down the top 4 teams in college basketball, giving you my insider's take and predictions you won't hear anywhere else. Plus, I'll dive into Vince Russo and John Cena's AEW talk and why he's crazy. No fluff, just straight analysis. This episode is exclusive to my Patreon supporters. For just a few bucks a month, you got bonus episodes like this, exclusive merch, and even a chance to ask me questions directly on a live Q&A session. So if you want in, join the crew now. The link will be in the description, and I'd love to have you on board and make sure you never miss the inside scoop. So break that down. Like I said, so Ronda Rousey hasn't been in an MMA ring for 10 years. Versus Gina Carano, 14 years. So what? Anyways, I didn't think it was going to be a vicious match. I didn't think it was going to be a long match. I thought maybe first round, maybe 2 rounds. And nah, bro. Ronda Rousey took her out, armbar, 17 seconds. Gina was tapping out, and I was like, I know Ronda Rousey is the baddest woman on the planet, or she used to be. Long time ago. Ronda Rousey was dangerous. Before she went to the WWE, she was knocking down doors and forcing Dana White to acknowledge women in the cage, in the octagon. Without Ronda Rousey, I don't know if the women's division would be anything as it is today in the UFC, because he was all adamant about, I don't want to see women fighting women, basically. Typical Dana White. So Ronda Rousey opened his eyes because he's seen, I can make millions out of this lady. So let's do it. And they haven't turned that down since. So yes, I know who Ronda Rousey is. I didn't know Gina Carano was an MMA fighter. I know her from The Mandalorian. I know her from the first Deadpool movie. Big, strong woman. That's all I knew her from. I knew her from her dumb tweets or whatever you want to call it. That got her removed from The Mandalorian, and then she sued Disney and blah, 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 and settled and blah, blah, blah. And then this match happened. Like, I blinked, and all of a sudden, it was over. And I know Ronda's done that in the past, and that was her thing. She would knock you out in 30 seconds and boom, to make you tap out like she was just bad. You know what I'm saying? Like old school Mike Tyson. Bad, but she hasn't MMA forever. Gina hasn't MMA forever. And then boom. They had the same amount of training time. Boom. And then the reports come out how much they made. Gina in a loss made $1 million. Ronda, it would have win, made $2 million. Not to say that it was rigged or whatever, but it wouldn't surprise me if, I mean, because after the match they were hugging and kissing and cuddling and boo boo face and I love you. And she just literally just embarrassed the woman in 17 seconds. Ain't no way I would let my opponent, if he beat me in 17 seconds, hell, if he beat me in 30 seconds, after the match, don't touch me. All right, I'm heated because you embarrassed me in front of the world. This ain't some flea market match. This ain't no backyard wrestling match where like 5 people seen it. 5 million people probably seen that. Not to mention since it was 17 seconds, it's on every reel, it's on every TikTok, it's on every YouTube short, every Instagram reels, every Facebook reels. Like you could go watch the match. By the time I yawn, it's over and you back to the podcast. So I don't understand why what so it just shows that I don't, in my mind, with 2 functioning eyeballs and a working, sometimes working brain, I look at it and say that smells fishy. Like, the old saying, if it looks like a duck, sounds like a duck, walks like a duck, it's probably a duck. So the purse of total of $3 million is on the line, split between 2 competitors. Why in the world would I want a MMA fight for more than 17 seconds? Ooh, grab my arm. I'll tap out real quick. Cause, come on, bro. I get it. I get it. She's baddest woman on the planet. I get it. Yeah. Thank you. I heard that. I seen her before. Okay. I used to love watching UFC. I'm trying to get back into it, but there's so many every week. It used to be a monthly thing. You had little fight nights here and there, but like it was the monthly pay-per-views. That was it. 12 pay-per-views. Now there's like 3 a month. There's too many fighters for a casual fan like me to be able to watch. But like I said, I'm trying to get back into it since it's on Paramount Plus and I don't have to pay the $80 a week. But anyways, moving on about Ron. Like, so if you believe differently, if you think that was just Ronda being the baddest woman on the planet 2.0, and because she ain't, this is probably her last match ever. But anyways, that's what you think. Then comment below, like this video, but don't forget to comment on the podcast in your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Apple Music, iHeart, whatever you want to do, and let me know that I'm wrong and that she just that bad, and Gina just got caught up and tapped real quick because she knows that Ronda ain't gonna let up. Like, so, but if you think I'm wrong, let me know. If you think I'm right, let me know. Either way, just let me know, because like I said, 2 functioning eyeballs and a sometime working brain says that was something fishy. Moving on to the NBA playoffs. The Western Conference is set to start tonight. You got the Oklahoma City Thunder, the number 1 seed, taking on the San Antonio Spurs with the unicorn himself, Victor Wembanyama, against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Thunder. And I'll get to his accomplishment in a bit. But let's go to the Eastern Conference Finals. My boys, did not make the Eastern Conference Finals. They made it a series. They took it to game 7 in their home last night in Detroit because it's Detroit basketball. But they didn't play like that. Nope. Defensively, sure. But that's not how the game started, man. They were missing shots. They were turning the ball over left, right, forwards, backwards. And the Cavaliers, the Cleveland Cavaliers, led by Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Mobley, we're going to take on Jalen Brunson, Cat, Josh Hart of the New York Knicks. Because the offensive game by the Pistons were piss poor. Cade was playing like Terry Rozier. Like, check his phone. Because, I don't know. Like, he was turning the ball over left, right. He was, I don't know, just not aggressive. And when he was aggressive, they were already down by 30. Too little, too late. Never close. Like, once they got it tied early in the first, all of a sudden I blinked. I went to go get a glass of water out the fridge, came back, and they were down by 15. My kitchen's like four steps away. And they're already down by 15. It was terrible. Like, I am so glad I wasn't there live, and I would have been embarrassed. They should be embarrassed. How you going to take it to game 7, destroy them in game 6, get to game 7, and throw up an egg? You don't lose a game 7 by 30. The commentators will talk about when you think they're going to take their starters out. What? It's game 7. What is wrong with a team not performing? It's game 7. The Pistons season is, as of right now, over. They got next year to look forward to when they're going to be 0-0 with a lot of expectations because of what they did this year. Like, it was like Duncan Robinson tried so hard. Like, he put the effort in like no other because, you know, what school he went to, Karis LeVert. Same dude. Went to the blue. Showed that heart means a lot. But it's too little, too late. Tobias Harris was just playing like the Tobias Harris I was hoping that wasn't coming to Detroit. And that's the Tobias we got on game 7. Not the game 7 that they had last series when he was Tobias Harris that I was praying that we got. But you made that Cavs team look killer. They were one of the worst defenses in all the NBA, and they were just blocking shots, stealing balls, like getting to the free throw line. They were doing all the little things that the Pistons normally do, but they were doing it in the Pistons' house. That's embarrassing. How you gonna let a team that ain't as good as you come to your house and be better in your stuff than you do? How you gonna defensive team? Because that's what they do. The Pistons beat you by swarming, getting turnovers, doing fast breaks, blocking shots, stealing balls, making more 3-pointers than the other team. Those things. None of those things they could do in a game 7 closeout game to be into the next round to compete for a spot in the NBA Finals so they can become world champions again. But no, they're at home watching the games just like me. So my pick, was Pistons Spurs. I'm not going to go away from that. I mean, clearly the Pistons can't go to the finals. So Knicks, Spurs. Spurs in 5. That's my pick. I love me some Victor, and I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder because he placed 3rd in the MVP voting. Let's move to that. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a 2-time. He joins a list, a small list of foreign or, non-U.S. born athletes that have become 2-time MVPs in the NBA. One of them is Nikola Jokic. Okay? But I'm just saying, let's go into the Wayback Machine. If y'all remember, I remember. I thought it was, sure, that's crazy. Clippers trying to win now. I get it. They don't want to. I get it. But the Clippers traded Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Gallinari, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 draft picks to get Paul George. Like, what? Now, looking back on it, clearly, how many MVPs have Paul George won since 2020? I'll wait. Oh, yeah, that's right, 0. He's not even on the Clippers no more. He's with the Sixers. He's not even healthy enough. He hasn't done nothing, okay? Like, Indiana Pacers Paul George is gone. That's not happening no more. Clippers Paul George. Thunder Paul George. Now you got 76ers, middle-age Paul George. Get hurt off a hangnail type, stuff. And but just imagine. I mean, I don't think the Clippers like to fumble stuff anyway. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 2-time MVP, 1-time world champion. 3 things that Paul George does not have. 3 things that the Clippers can't say they have right now. In the same span of time. Not saying, yeah. Anyways, whatever. Not in the same span of time. So, who won that trade? Spoiler alert, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Which I still think they're going to lose in the Western Conference Finals to the Spurs. Because Spurs seem to have their number this year. But crazier things happen. Look at the number 1 seed Pistons. Took 7 games to beat the Orlando Magic. Lost at home on a Game 7 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So, anything can happen. That's why they play the game. But hey, I like the Spurs. But, moving on to the elephant in the room. So, the elephant in the room this time I want to talk about. Before, I'm going to start this off with a little tidbit. I'm talking about shooting point guards. Not point guards of all time. Okay? So, there's not going to be a John Stockton on my list. There's not going to be a Magic Johnson on my list. Okay? I know they're better than some of the point guards, the majority of the point guards on this list. But I'm talking about scoring point guards. Point guards that might have 4 or 5 assists. Maybe sometimes a 10 assists. But they're going to drop 20 to 30. Or more. 40, 50. And before this list, before the 2-time MVP, I didn't even have Shai on my top 10. Like 11 or 12. But here's my updated list. You don't like it? Comment below and tell me yours. Because this is my list, top 10. So we're going to start with the best shooter I've ever seen in my life. He shoots in a way that when they show videos of how he shoots to kids and say, don't shoot like this. And the kids are like, well, he shoots it from across the street and makes shots. My son, example, he wanted to be just like Steph Curry. Chewing on the mouth guard, all that stuff. Number 1, Steph Curry. Can't argue with that. Got the rings. Got the MVPs. He can score at will from anywhere on the court. Like, beyond the arc, sure. Beyond the half court, sure. From across the street, definitely. Okay? Next, number 2. Granted, he hasn't really played much because he hurt himself. But he's back home. He had experiment with Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis. That clearly didn't work. I thought it was going to work. But I don't think they knew how to coexist. I think that's what it was. Giannis wanted the ball and he wanted the ball, and they just couldn't see eye to eye. And then one got hurt. One could play. The other one got hurt. The other one played. That's it's a recipe for disaster, and I'm glad he's back home in the Portland Trail Blazers. So you know who I'm talking about, because it's Dame time. And Damian Lillard, he can drop 50, he can drop 25, but he gonna create shots for himself and his teammates. He just that good. He has the range similar to Curry, not as quite great as Steph Curry, but right up there with them, man. Like, Dame time, he's one of the best on this list to not win an MVP or NBA championship. Number 3 is the newest to my list, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Should I say more? 2 back-to-back MVPs, world champion, can score 40, 50, 60 at will. When he scores, they win. Best record in the NBA. I'm just saying. Look at what he's done in that organization that other great basketball players could not do. Because, Thunder was the Seattle Sonics. So Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, they couldn't do what Shai did. Kevin Durant, James Harden. I'm just saying, they couldn't do what Shai is doing in that organization. I'm just pointing out the obvious. Stop me if you heard this before, but Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of the best players on the planet. And he does it so nonchalant that most people just chalk it up as he's in the Oklahoma City. Who cares? But he's on the cusp of being not only back-to-back MVPs, but back-to-back NBA champion. Just had to get through Victor, which I don't think they will. But if they do, I don't see why they would not be the favorites in the finals. And they live by Shai, and they're going to die by Shai. And Dynasty Herd. If they can go back-to-back, there's no doubt in my mind that they have a chance. With the number of draft picks that they still have to rebuild that squad to be even better, to go three-peat, which we don't see very often. So, moving on. Number 4, you got Kyrie Irving. I know he's a flat earther, blah, blah, blah. But Kyrie, that NBA championship that LeBron had in Cleveland, he ain't doing that without Kyrie Irving. He can create his shots at will when he wants to. I don't think he's been motivated enough to be that guy when he in Dallas. But given opportunities, Kyrie is one of the best. Number 4. He's the number 4 top shooting point guards of all time, in my opinion. Number 5, Steve Nash. I know I've said it millions of times that he stole Kobe Bryant's MVP, which he did. But he's still the guy. He can still drop some points. Play with Dirk. Play with Sean Marion and Stoudemire. Like, he makes people around him better, and he can score. He can score 25, 30 if he wants to. Give you like 8, 9 assists. That's all a team really needs from their point guard. Some points, more than 20, and maybe 8 to 10 assists. That's a perfect amount of points to assists with very few turnovers, it'll make that team even better. Then you got Chris Paul. Should I say more? He just got the dirty end of the stick because every team he joins it at the wrong time. I still think the NBA ruined his chance of getting a championship when they vetoed the trade to the Lakers. Kobe, a motivated, super motivated, prime Chris Paul, yeah, they winning that title. But instead he went to the Clippers and Lob City, but you know where that went. And he went to Houston and the Warriors and the Spurs. Just always in the wrong time. So he's still the best though. And then you got, speaking of the best, number 7, big shot himself, Chauncey Billups. Yeah, if you don't believe me, go watch what he did to the Lakers in the finals or during that playoff run. Yeah, Detroit basketball, indeed. Another Detroit Pistons great, Isaiah Thomas. Great shooting guard, put up points. Not nearly as many points as they are now, but he did what he needed to do, and he brought titles. Then Mark Price for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Again, great shooters, great ball handlers. You know, that's a good recipe for the best shooting point guards. You're not just relying on their teammates entirely because they can take the game over, and then that's when they start doubling them, and then their passing abilities show out, and then his teammates are wide open. And then you got Gilbert Arenas, Agent Zero himself. Yeah, he was killing it in Washington. So that's my top 10 list of the greatest shooting point guards of all time. And like I said, if you got a different list, put it on the comments on this video and let me know what y'all think. But that's episode 29. Next week, we're going to do episode 30. Not sure what special I'm going to do that week because this is 30 episodes. Didn't think I was going to get to 30 episodes. That means I've been doing this for over 30 weeks. Wow. But it's only the beginning because we're going to keep going. Once we hit 30, we're going to 50. When we hit 50, we're going to 100. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it bigger, better, as y'all see fit to help me. So don't forget to like, subscribe, hit notifications. Because just this weekend, I went to the Michigan Trade Show and got some cards, opened up packs, posted a video. So check that out on the channel because I provide content when I get opportunities and put that savings on you. So hit that bell so you can always see what this face Bishop is going to bring to your table. So that's what we got this week. Can't wait for next week because we're going to do it big. We're always going to do it breaking everything down as I see coming through the channels. So, like a great man once said, deuces, ooses. Peace.